Stephen Gutowski is a great writer for the Washington Free Beacon, but this piece in particular, where Stephen spoke with you, Dana Lash, Jen Jake, Stacey Washington, each and every one of you, very different people, very different backgrounds, but there's a commonality, right? I mean, you are all self-defense and Second Amendment advocates, and you are all subject to some of the worst behavior online that I've seen, honestly.
Yeah, it's very sad to see it all laid out there in one article. I mean, it's bad enough when I look at it and I think, okay, this is something that I'm sadly used to receiving. I'm used to reading things like this. I'm kind of subscribing to the don't read the comments way of life. But at the same time, to see that just comment after thread after a harassing message for not just me, but for basically any female Second Amendment advocate is really disheartening, just because we shouldn't have to put up with this. Where are the feminists that are coming out in droves in our defense? I mean, really, it's up to us to kind of band together and say, no, we're not going to stand for this. It's not okay.
Absolutely. And so, as you say, I mean, on the one hand, like, there are things you can do to minimize, seeing this sort of stuff. But A, it's really hard to escape it entirely unless you're just not on social media, which is kind of what they want, I think, right? Is to drive you away, to silence you, to make you say, you know what, it's not worth it for me to speak up.
Right. And we've seen that work. There have been advocates that look at this and say, you know what, it's not worth having my life threatened, having my kids threatened. You're looking up personal information and trying to out you. That's not normal. That's not a behavior that we would have seen before the age of social media. And now it just makes it so much easier for people to anonymously type these things from behind a keyboard and to try and terrorize those who wish to use their voices to speak out with an opinion that may not go with the mainstream or may not fit into a perfect little box that they're used to digesting and having be part of what the female persona is supposed to look like. There are plenty of men and women out there, just like myself and the other 3 women that were interviewed for Stephen's article, and we won't be quiet. This is exactly why. If anything, they are making our point as to why we carry.